For every girl, every young girl, every woman, every young woman, I wish voice. I wish their active participation in the world, and I wish them to have access to those assets, particularly sexual and reproductive health and rights, that are necessary for their dignity in order that we have access to their talent.
You focus on human rights issues around
Yes.
the world, and with increased numbers of conflicts and humanitarian crises settings, and antagonists walking all over the rights of girls and women in particular, where do you start? How do you go in and start to unbundle those atrocious behaviours and help support and lift women and girls up?
You know, there are three critical things to do. First of all, don't be complicit in it yourself. So every international and national humanitarian and development agency has to own the gender agenda and has to reform the way it understands women, the contribution of women and their resilience in the toughest of places. Secondly, the dignity of women and young girls, particularly with regards to maternal health, access to contraception, information about sexuality, and services when subjected to brutality, these mustn't be seen as add-ons. They're as essential as food and shelter. Thirdly, without women's agency, their active engagement locally, we don't even understand half of what goes on in the context of conflict. When I was in a camp in Iraq just 2 weeks ago, I sat down with 2 women who had been subjected to sexual slavery over the course of 15 months. The story that they were telling is a story of unspeakable acts, but they were speaking about them. And without their testimony and the courage of their story, the revelation of the cruelty to which they're uniquely subjected, we wouldn't even begin to understand half of the nature of war, of conflict and the price it exacts from women. So without women's voices at the table, without their testimonies bearing witness to the heinous crimes that are perpetrated in the context of conflict, we have no course open to us for true solutions and for sustainable peace. Without women, we're nowhere.